Hello and welcome to another one of my weekly tips exclusively for you here on my email list. So the tip I want to share with you today is one that you can use with your students or with your team that you're working with. And I always want you to think about both. Even if you say, I'm just a classroom teacher or I'm just this or that, you can do this with your team, even with the team next door, even with your office staff, because they are often some of the most forgotten people on campus. So one of my favorite things to do during the year is to spend some time collecting addresses and phone numbers from people that are loved by the people on our staff. So at the beginning of the year as a principal, I would send out my normal survey, and I would have one question on it that says, who's the person most important to you? What's their phone number and their address? And then at some point during the year, I would call that person up and tell them, I just wanted to give you a quick call, tell you your husband, your wife, your brother, your sister, your daughter, whoever, your best friend works at my school and they are doing a fantastic job. You're somebody important in their life, so I had to call and brag to somebody important to them. But you may not be able to make the phone call. So addresses are just as great because, like I said before, you cannot forget the power of the written word. So then I would, at holiday times or just random times, but I loved doing it during the holiday season, where I would write cards to all their loved ones. And instead of sending cards to my team, I would send cards to their loved ones saying, thank you for sharing your aunt with us for this school year, or something like that. Imagine doing that with your students too, randomly calling during the week or during once a month. And one point of advice too is to keep a spreadsheet with all the names of everybody that you're going to be doing this with. And every time you write or call, put a little X and the date by when you did it so that you can keep track to know, oh my gosh, I haven't called Johnny in like 6 months. I need to get on that one because I don't want him to feel forgotten. Super easy thing to do, but it makes a difference. And if you want to do something even cooler, call that person into your room or into your office and let them be there when you call their loved one so they can feel the warmth too of just hearing you pour into their loved one while you're present. Simple, easy to do. You can do it with your team, you can do it with your students, or you can do it with the whole school if you're a principal watching this. Don't let things get in the way. It's not that difficult. And even if you have to go up to somebody, like your school nurse, who's often forgotten, and say, hey, I just wanted to send a thank you to somebody in your family for just the work you're doing. Can I have their address? And it may seem kind of awkward and weird, but I promise you, once their family gets that card or gets that phone call and then calls them and say, oh my gosh, your coworker called me, it will build your heart up so much. During these trying times, it's simple things like this that really make a difference.